Ukraine has made an urgent appeal to India to stop the indirect supply of electronic components that are ending up in Russian Shahed 136 drones, unmanned aerial vehicles that have become a symbol of destruction across Ukrainian cities. Russia's deployment of Shahed 136 drones has become a cornerstone of its battlefield strategy: cheap, mass-produced loitering munitions designed to crash into targets with maximum destructive force. Originally developed by Iran, these drones are now manufactured at scale in Russian facilities. Their design is brutally effective: GPS-guided flight, low-altitude approach, and warheads capable of striking energy grids, hospitals, transport hubs, and civilian areas. In terms of capability, the Shahed 136 has a range of roughly 1,000 to 2,500 kilometers, depending on payload and configuration. It's powered by a simple piston engine, typically the Chinese-made MD-550 or its clones. It carries around 30 to 50 kg of explosives and is pre-programmed with GPS coordinates. There's no remote piloting once it's in the air, which means no mid-flight correction, but also fewer vulnerabilities to jamming. Russia began deploying them in Ukraine around late 2022, and their usage spiked during the winter months when energy infrastructure was being systematically targeted. Each drone costs an estimated $20,000 to $50,000 to produce, which is significantly cheaper than a cruise missile. That's been a major advantage for Russia, using them in large swarms to exhaust Ukrainian air defense systems that are often forced to use far more expensive interceptor missiles. A growing number of Shahed drone wreckages have been analyzed by Ukrainian and Western researchers, and the components tell a revealing story. Most of the drone isn't made in Iran. According to the Royal United Services Institute, more than 70% of the parts, microchips, capacitors, servos, GPS modules, are commercially available and sourced from companies based in the US, Europe, and Asia. Some of these parts are consumer grade and were never meant to end up in weapons. And that's where Indian origin components enter the equation. Ukrainian defense analysts examining recovered Shahed wreckage have repeatedly identified key parts linked to Indian manufacturers. The two firms at the center of scrutiny are Bengaluru-based Aura Semiconductor and Vishay Intertechnology, which operates manufacturing facilities in India. Aura's AU5426A signal generator chip is central to the drone's satellite navigation system. It stabilizes frequency, resists jamming, and enables course accuracy, critical for Shahed drones to reach their targets in contested environments. Vishay's E300359 bridge rectifier appears in the power regulation module, ensuring consistent voltage control across the drone's internal systems during flight. These are not weapons-grade systems, they are dual-use components produced for commercial electronics. But once integrated into warfighting platforms, their strategic value becomes undeniable. Ukraine's Intelligence Directorate publicly released documentation tying these components to Indian suppliers. Diplomatic communications followed, requesting India to tighten controls and close the gaps in export tracking. The issue was elevated further during EU sanctions envoy David O'Sullivan's discussions with Indian officials in July, where wider concerns around Russia's supply chain resilience, including energy and defense vectors, were addressed. India has since initiated compliance briefings across electronics hubs, educating manufacturers on diversion risks and export law liabilities. Aura Semiconductor issued a statement acknowledging the concern and confirmed it had launched an internal audit. Vishay remained silent. Both companies emphasized that components were sold via global distributors and they had no visibility into end-use integration. Meanwhile, the Shahed 136 has continued evolving. New iterations carry larger payload, longer range, and enhanced guidance. Reports suggest advanced variants now incorporate jet propulsion and sub-munition dispersal capabilities. They are used in strategic saturation tactics, launched en masse to exhaust air defense coverage, disable infrastructure, and terrorize civilian populations with their distinctive buzzing approach and sudden impact.